Prime News on HLN. Former Senator John Edwards and his wife Elizabeth are getting a legal separation. That's it. She's had it. Who can blame her? Just last week, Edwards admitted to fathering a child with his mistress, Riel Hunter. And on top of that, stunning new allegations coming out in this new tell-all book by Edwards' former aide, Andrew Young. The book's called The Politician. And inside the book, we're getting raunchy descriptions of a happy dad, Edwards, driving the kids to school, then coming back to have sex with the mistress in the same bed he shares with his wife, Elizabeth. But then there's this bombshell. The author told ABC's Good Morning America that there's a John Edwards sex tape with a pregnant Riel Hunter.
There was one tape that was marked special, and we're just aghast. It's a sex tape of Riel and John Edwards, made just a couple of months before the Iowa caucuses.
Are you absolutely sure that this is John Edwards and Riel Hunter?
It's definitely him. You never see her face. It's a visibly pregnant woman.
All right, just to let everybody know, we tried to reach out to the Edwards camp and the Riel Hunter camp. No word yet. One other thing on that sex tape we want to point out that Andrew Young actually sounds like he practically dug this tape out of the garbage. It was broken. He put it back together to watch it. So, you know, he was looking to get John Edwards. It sounds like, anyway, as we hear this play out. But anyway, if there's a tape, right? Call in on it, 1-877-TEL-HLN. Back with us to talk about it, Dr. J. Buzz von Ornsteiner, forensic psychologist. And you look at this, let's start just with the basics, and the latest news on this is that there's a legal separation here. That's not surprising when you look at this and you just wonder, how much can someone take, right, Buzz?
Absolutely. You're looking at a man, if these allegations are true, who's getting caught with his pants down. He's engaging in these acting out behaviors. He's being led by his lower half. He's out of control. And then he's faced with these situations where he's causing shame and humiliation towards his family. When we look at people who are in treatment for either it's drug or alcohol abuse, we still look at sexually compulsive behaviors. We still look at a person who's out of control. Whether the public wants to believe that or not, whether they believe that Warren Beatty or Tiger Woods are sexually compulsive, they definitely have a problem. They definitely cannot control their lower half because it's affecting their family. It's affecting their employment. It's causing them to engage not logically or rationally. They're out of control. They need to seek control, but they can't because their brain has adapted to this kind of behavior.
Buzz, let's talk. I mean, when you use the term out of control, we're not talking about anybody. We're talking about a man who is running for the most powerful office in the world, President of the United States. How can you're in that zone, how can you also be in this out-of-control zone, allegedly carrying on with Riel Hunter?
People's brain adapts to how they handle stress. Whether you're famous or not, we all encompass and we all handle stress differently. We just do. It doesn't necessarily matter if you're famous or you're as poor as a church mouse. You're going to handle stress in a way that somehow you think is making you feel more in control. Now, a lot of men use sex, a lot of men use sexually acting out behaviors as a way of controlling their stress. What it does is it stops communication. It starts to just adapt to seeking out ways that you can get these connections. It affects your family. It affects your job. It's no different than a drug addict. It's no different than an alcoholic. The behavior, the sexual behavior, starts to take over everything. It has taken control over you. You're no longer in control.
Yeah, sure. It seems that way in this situation with John Edwards. Let's get a call in real quick. Sandra's with us in Georgia. Hey, Sandra, your thoughts?
Yes, Mike, I'm not appalled nor surprised about this. It's another politician caught with his pants down and someone trying to help him cover up. Buzz,
there's your word one more time.
Yes.
I hear you. Buzz, okay, is this this is power? Do you think, John, you think he really thought he was going to get away with this? Well, I mean, that this wasn't going to blow up at some point?
It's really sad. You know, when people are faced with what their behavior has created, we don't necessarily see the best of them, in general speaking. They're looking for solutions. They're venting. They're kind of having, their brain is just kind of producing these impulsive statements. They're trying to escape, really. They're trying to find some solution to cover their tracks. So you don't see the best behaviors come out of these people that we would like to. You're seeing an individual that we normally would not be exposed to. Our brains aren't perfect, you know. We all act out in different ways, and there is a side to us that we don't want everyone to see. In this situation, the public is being exposed to these men, to this individual, and they're not they're not perfect. You know, we have good sides, we have bad sides, we have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
In this situation, this individual is being exposed. He's basically naked, and we don't like what we see.
No, we don't. I mean, look on his face. Let's face it, it's desperate. It's unconscionable what is going on here. In March of '07, that's when that announcement came. And we saw John Edwards at that point as the loving, caring, supporting husband, while at the same time he's carrying on with Rielle Hunter. May of '07, roughly, she gets pregnant. After that, he renews his vows with Elizabeth Edwards as they celebrate their 30th wedding anniversary. Buzz, I'll go back to you. How does a man do that?
You know what? When I work with married couples, it's what works for them, and I'm certainly not minimizing his acting out behaviors, and I am not minimizing what these allegations are, because these are allegations. You know, marriages are a situation where you have two people working together with common goals, and there are children involved, and there are other issues. And he may have been a supporting, loving, doting husband, not the fraud that is portrayed of him based on their relationship. We're talking about time here. I tend to be very optimistic that sometimes...
He was having an affair with Rielle Hunter at the time. How can you say he's not a fraud?
Well, again, I work with very, very unique relationships. Some people do stay together regardless of their husband's behavior. Some parents feel they should stay together for the sake of the children.
Right.
Some married couples feel they should stay together because they have a joint goal together regardless of one of the individuals acting out or their sexual needs.
Right.
Again, these are relationships that are in private.
No, I agree with you, but I mean, Elizabeth Edwards didn't know the affair, so he is a fraud at that point when he's renewing vows and yet having an affair with Rielle Hunter. Elizabeth Edwards is completely in the dark at this point.
If that is true, that is a very sad statement.
Okay.
But again, communication would be the key here to work on this problem if you believe sexual compulsivity is an illness that can be treated. I personally do. I believe if he was having problems with drugs, if he was having problems with alcohol, she would still be there to support him, and that may still be her belief.
Right, right. But again, he was a fraud and an adulterer while he's trying to carry on as the good guy presidential candidate. I think we can all agree on that. Buzz?
Absolutely. Not a good example for anyone.
Right, exactly. Buzz, thanks so much.